Ladies and gentlemen, they will regret losing you. Oh, yes, one day they will look back and see the space you filled, the energy you brought, the kindness you extended, and they will ache for what they no longer have. You see, when someone undervalues you, it's not because you lack worth, it's because they were too blind to see the masterpiece standing before them. That blindness is their failure, not yours. You are not meant to carry the weight of someone else's inability to appreciate your presence. Your value does not diminish just because someone failed to recognize it. Never lower your value for someone who failed to appreciate your worth. This simple yet profound truth holds the key to self-respect, inner peace, and a fulfilling life. When someone fails to see the treasure in you, it's not a reflection of your inadequacy, but a glaring testament to their blindness. Your worth is not dependent on anyone's recognition. It is intrinsic, unshakable, and defined by the unique essence you bring into this world. To lower your value for someone else is to compromise the very core of who you are. It's an act of diminishing yourself to fit into someone else's limited perception. But why should you shrink? You were not made to be small. You were not created to fit into anyone's narrow expectations. Your existence is vast, rich, and brimming with potential. To lower your value is to betray that potential, to silence the greatness within you, and to settle for far less than you deserve. When you lower yourself for someone who failed to appreciate you, you grant them power over your sense of self. You allow their opinion, their actions, and their choices to dictate your worth. But here's the truth: no one has the authority to determine your value except you. No rejection, no criticism, no dismissal can diminish who you are unless you allow it. Your value is rooted in your character, your kindness, your strength, and your resilience, all of which remain intact no matter how someone else perceives you. Think about the times you've bent over backward to prove your worth to someone who barely lifted a finger to acknowledge it. Think about the emotional energy you poured into trying to win their approval. What did it bring you? Likely only exhaustion and disappointment. That's because no amount of effort can make someone see your value if they choose not to. Their inability to appreciate you has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their limitations. Choosing not to lower your value is an act of self-love and self-respect. It's a declaration to the world and to yourself that you deserve to be treated with dignity, kindness, and care. It's about setting boundaries and refusing to accept less than you give. It's about standing tall and saying, I will not shrink to make you comfortable. I will not diminish myself to fit into your world. If you can't see my worth, that's your loss, not mine. This mindset does not make you arrogant or unkind. It makes you strong. It makes you someone who honors their own worth and demands the same from others. And when you refuse to lower your value, you set a standard. You teach others how to treat you. You attract people who recognize your worth, who celebrate your presence, and who lift you higher rather than pull you down. The world is full of people who will see your value without you having to prove it. There are those who will cherish you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. These are the people who matter, the ones who deserve a place in your life. Never lower your value for someone who failed to appreciate your worth, because the right people will never ask you to. Letting go of what no longer serves you is one of the most liberating and transformative decisions you can make in life. It's an act of courage, a step toward reclaiming your energy, and a declaration that you deserve better. Life is full of seasons, and each one brings its own lessons, challenges, and opportunities. But holding on to things, people, or habits that have outlived their purpose can weigh you down, keeping you from fully embracing the beauty of what's ahead. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing the importance of what once was. It means acknowledging its place in your journey while understanding that it no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. Often, the hardest part of letting go is the fear of the unknown. We cling to the familiar even when it causes us pain because it feels safe. But that safety is an illusion. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when we take the leap, release the old, and make room for the new. When you hold on to what no longer serves you, you carry unnecessary baggage. Imagine trying to climb a mountain with a backpack full of heavy, useless items. You might make progress, but it will be slow, exhausting, and far more difficult than it needs to be. The same principle applies to life. Emotional baggage, toxic relationships, outdated beliefs, and unproductive habits all weigh you down. They drain your energy and limit your potential. By letting them go, you free yourself to move forward with greater ease, clarity, and purpose. Letting go requires self-awareness and honesty. It means taking a hard look at your life and asking yourself tough questions. Is this relationship helping me grow, or is it holding me back? Is this belief empowering me, or is it keeping me stuck? Is this habit adding value to my life, or is it undermining my goals? These questions might be uncomfortable, but the answers are essential for your growth. Recognizing what no longer serves you is the first step toward releasing it. Letting go is not an act of loss, it's an act of gain. When you release what no longer serves you, you create space for something better. Think of a garden. If you never pull out the weeds, the flowers won't have room to grow. Similarly, when you clear out the things that no longer add value to your life, you open the door for opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your true self. This space allows you to flourish, to explore new possibilities, and to welcome the abundance life has to offer. It's important to trust the process. Letting go might feel like a void at first, but that void is fertile ground for new beginnings. By holding on to the past, you miss the chance to embrace the future. Life is always evolving, and so are you. To step into your fullest potential, you must be willing to release the old and welcome the new. Let go of what no longer serves you, not as an act of giving up, but as an act of stepping up to something greater. Your growth and happiness are the most profound responses to those who regret losing you. When someone fails to value your presence and later feels the weight of your absence, it is not words or gestures that truly convey what they lost, it's the transformation they witness in you. Growth and happiness radiate a powerful message, one that speaks of resilience, self-respect, and the ability to thrive beyond what they once thought you needed from them. It's a silent but undeniable declaration that your worth was never tied to their recognition or approval. Growth is the process of becoming more than what you were. It's about learning from the pain, adapting to challenges, and using every setback as a stepping stone to your next level. When someone sees you rising after they left or after they caused you pain, it forces them to confront the reality that you are not dependent on their presence to succeed. This realization is often where regret begins. They see the strength you've cultivated, the self-improvement you've embraced, and the opportunities you've seized, and they understand what they failed to nurture when you were in their life. Happiness, on the other hand, is the ultimate proof of your independence and self-worth. True happiness comes from within. It's not contingent on external validation. When those who lost you see you smiling, thriving, and embracing life with joy, it sends a clear message you have chosen peace and fulfillment over the chaos they may have brought into your world. This happiness is not just a shield, it's a sword, cutting through any doubts about whether you needed them to find contentment. It shows that their departure was not the end of your story, but the beginning of a better chapter. This response of growth and happiness is not about revenge or proving a point. It's about reclaiming your narrative and prioritizing your own journey. The focus is not on making them regret their actions, but on ensuring that you never lower yourself to fit into a space where you were not appreciated. Regret is a natural consequence of their choices, not your intention. Your growth and happiness are for you, not for them, but they inevitably highlight what they took for granted. When you grow and find happiness, you inspire others to respect your boundaries and to treat you with the dignity you deserve. Those who fail to value you may seek to return, drawn by the person you become. But by then, your growth will have taught you discernment, and your happiness will remind you of the peace you've worked so hard to build. Letting someone back into your life is a choice, not an obligation, and your transformation ensures that choice will be rooted in wisdom, not desperation. Ultimately, your growth and happiness are your triumphs. They are the evidence that you have risen above the pain, reclaimed your power, and embraced the limitless potential within you. To those who regret losing you, they are a reminder of the extraordinary person they underestimated. And to you, they are proof that you are capable of thriving, no matter who stays or leaves. Protecting your peace is one of the most valuable acts of self-care and self-respect you can practice. Your peace is your sanctuary, a place of calm and stability that allows you to thrive emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. When someone disrupts that peace and causes you pain, it is essential to learn from that experience and never allow them to hurt you twice. Protecting your peace is not about building walls or fostering resentment. It's about creating healthy boundaries and honoring your worth. Allowing someone to hurt you a second time means giving them power over your well-being that they don't deserve. The first time someone hurts you, it may come as a surprise, a mistake, or a moment of misjudgment. But when they do it again, it's often because they were given access to repeat their behavior. Protecting your peace means recognizing that while you can't always control how others treat you, you can absolutely control who has the privilege of being in your life. It means saying, I choose me over this pain, and having the strength to enforce that choice. The idea of not letting someone hurt you twice isn't rooted in anger or bitterness, it's rooted in wisdom and self-love. When someone shows you their true colors through their actions, believe them. It's human nature to hope for change or to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially when emotions are involved. But hope should not outweigh the reality of repeated harm. Forgiving someone is noble, but forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean reopening the door for them to cause the same pain again. Protecting your peace also involves understanding your own triggers and limits. It's about knowing what disrupts your harmony and taking proactive steps to guard against it. Whether it's a toxic relationship, unhealthy habits, or a negative environment, identifying and addressing these disruptions is critical. When you allow someone to repeatedly hurt you, you compromise not only your peace, but also your self-worth. You send a message to yourself and to them that their behavior is acceptable. Refusing to let them hurt you again is a way of reclaiming your power and reinforcing your value. By protecting your peace, you open yourself up to a better quality of life. You create space for relationships, opportunities, and experiences that uplift you rather than drag you down. Peace is not something that just happens, it is cultivated through intentional choices. It's about prioritizing your mental and emotional health over fleeting attachments or the fear of confrontation. It's about understanding that you are worthy of a life free from unnecessary pain and chaos. Never allowing someone to hurt you twice is not a sign of weakness or a lack of compassion. It's a sign of strength, clarity, and self-respect. It's about choosing a future that honors your growth and refuses to repeat the mistakes of the past. Protecting your peace means standing firm in your boundaries, valuing your well-being, and recognizing that no relationship is worth sacrificing your inner tranquility.